Morning, guys. Our topic for today is historical background of the Philippine democratic politics, Module 5. This is Lesson 8. Okay, here at the end of the Spanish rule in the country and the proclamation of Philippine independence on June 12, 1898, uh, our Constitution was established on January 21, 1899, after several months, and it was done in Malolos, Bulacan, and it was established during the time January 21, 1899, and Aguinaldo became the first uh, president. That, but that is a transitory. According to Justice Palma, his statement, Malala's constitution is the most glorious um, expression of the noble aspiration of the Filipino. Okay. However, the first Philippine Republic was transitory. Now, the American came here in the Philippines after the Spaniards. This is the story. On February 15, 1898, the battleship called the Main Sun was downed by the Spaniards, and the United States declared war against Spain on February 25, 1898. Actually, merong controversy ang pagbagsak ng barko ng Amerika. Uh, ang ayon sa balita, ito ay gawa rin ng mga Amerikano. Okay? So, after that declaration, merong gera between Spaniards and Americans, especially particularly sa place ng Cuba, because the Americans has business interest to Cuba, and not only that, even to the Philippines. So, yung meron tinatag na mock battle sa Dewey Boulevard today. Pero actually, on December 11 o 10, 1898, nagkaroon ng Treaty of Paris. Binenta ang Pilipinas sa mga Amerikano ng mga Espanyol. Yan yung Treaty of Paris. Kaya ang American na ang may-ari ng tinatawag na Pilipinas, nagkaroon pa nga ng mock battle sa Rojas Boulevard that time in the Philippines, in Manila particularly. The Americans organized as a military form of government but consolidated the executive, legislative, and judiciary power in the military governor. Sakop niya na lahat. Okay, so that's what so anong nangyari ay tumakbo o lumaban ang mga Pilipino sa pamumuno ni Aguinaldo. Merong commission, the first commission ay Sherman Commission, also known as the First Philippine Commission, noong January 20, 1899. So this commission was tasked to conduct a fact-finding survey. I-assess kung ano ang needs, kung ano ang ano pa ang kailangan, at paano ang transition, para of course meron ding balak na ibigay ito sa mga Pilipino. And nakagawa naman si Sherman ng assessment, dinala ito sa Congress ng US, at one of the outputs of the commission was the establishment of a system of public education. Ito ang maganda sa ginawa ng mga Amerikano. First of all, yung University of the Philippines. Ito ay intended para sa mga professionals, no? Engineers, doctors, and yung mga pang-academic. Tapos meron din silang na-establish for commerce, mga secretarial, and for business. Yun ay Philippine College of Commerce. Somewhere in Manila, no? Ngayon ito ay PUP ngayon. Philippine Polytechnic University of the Philippines. Yes, PUP. Then the third one, yung for TESDA, na yung arts and trades, yun yung na ginawa ng mga Amerikano, yung pikat noon, Philippine Commerce, for arts and trades, Philippine College for Arts and Trades. Ito ay ngayon ito ay TUP na ngayon, Technological University of the Philippines. Yan din ang isang output. Para lamang ito sa mga technology. What else? For teachers, meron din. Philippine Normal College. Ngayon ay Philippine Normal University. So, ito ang mga output na in-establish ng mga Amerikano dito sa kanilang assessment. Subsequently, by virtue of the Spooner Amendment, yung civil government was established, no, with William Howard Taft as the first governor. But military commissions were not abolished until July 4, 1902. So the first governor na military pa rin ang commission, ibig sabihin, nasa kanyang judiciary, nasa kanya ang legislature and even executive. By virtue of Philippine Bill 1902, the Philippine Assembly was created in 1907 to sit with the Philippine Commission in a bicameral legislature. Sergio Osmeña was elected Speaker of the Philippine Assembly. So, nagkaroon na ng tinatawag na bicameral legislature. Okay? At nagkaroon ng because of this Philippine Bill, no? At ito ay si Sergio Osmeña nga ang naging Speaker ng Philippine Assembly. In 1916, the Philippine Autonomy Act was promulgated, which later came to be known as the Jones Law. Again, what is the Jones Law? This is the Philippine Autonomy Act. Yung magkaroon tayo ng kasarinlan at wala nang pakialam ang mga Amerikano. The act established, among others, a Philippine legislature consisting of Senate and a House of Representatives, but the term of the act, the Philippine Commission became the Philippine Senate, and the Philippine Assembly became the House of Representatives. Now, again, what is the Philippine Act? The Jones Law. Continued until 1935, when the U.S. Congress enacted the Tiding-McDuffie Law, which provided for a 10-year transition period. So magkakaroon ng kasarinlan ang Pilipinas. This is the Jones Law, pero meron tinatawag na 10-year transition. So since 1935, then by the year 1945, yan, probably that very year. At ang tawag dito ay Tiding-McDuffie Law. Okay. That over which the U.S. will withdraw in sovereignty over the Philippines if the Filipinos could prove their capacity for a self-governance by the establishment of Commonwealth government. So the act authorized the people of the Philippine Island to adopt a constitution subject to the people, to the condition and qualification of the said act. The law required 3 distinct steps: drafting and approved, and that constitution was ratified by the people of the Philippine Islands at the election or plebiscites. Okay, ito yung mga kondisyones para ang act na ito ay magkaroon ng tinatawag na sa katuparan. Okay, may mga kondisyones. Okay, the law required 3 distinct steps: drafting, approve, and ratification. Okay. Now, ito yung nangyari nung ginagawa ang tinatawag na 1935 Constitution. Una, it was narrated July 30, 1934. It was drafted and approved by the Convention February 8, 1935. Then the Constitution was submitted to the President of the U.S. on March 18, 1935. Then the President certified that the Constitution March 23, 1935, and provisions of the Act of Congress approved March 24, 1935, and the Constitution was ratified by the people on May 14, 1935. So this Article 18 of the Constitutions provided that the government established by this Constitution shall be known as the Commonwealth of the Philippines upon the final and complete withdrawal of sovereignty of the U.S. and the proclamation of Philippine independence. The Commonwealth of the Philippines shall therefore be known as Republic of the Philippines. The Philippine Commonwealth was established on November 15, 1935. So prior to 1973 Constitution, which was done by Marcos, ang ginagamit natin ay 1935 Constitution. Okay. Now, uh, merong Commonwealth and the president of Commonwealth is Quezon, and Osmeña became the vice president in 1935. Quezon pressed for constitutional amendments. Yun ang unang niyang ginawa that would allow him to obtain a second term and the restoration of bicameral legislature. Nangyari naman yon. Quezon did obtain both amendments with the newly restored Senate now being elected at large instead of per district as what was done during the pre-Commonwealth era. Quezon, Osmeña, and the Nacionalista Party was a whole won the election in 1941 in much larger margins. So that time the president is Quezon and Osmeña became the vice president. Remember 1941, no? Nung sila ay nanalo, pero this is the re-election, pero this is the time for the World War II. Okay? Let us putulin natin. Let's cut this and will be continued.